Welcome to HotDrama TV. Liu Yuning's triumphant rise in The Prisoner of Beauty, a new era for Chinese historical drama's leading men. The awakening of a star. In the ever-shifting terrain of Chinese historical dramas, where viewers are both sentimental and discerning, it's not easy for an actor to rise from mere recognition to true resonance. Yet, in 2025, Liu Yuning did precisely that. The man who was once written off as a passable idol, with an underwhelming presence, has now become the unlikely face of a revolutionary shift in storytelling and character building. His leading role in the hit drama Kamlung has reshaped perceptions, not just of himself, but of what a leading man can and should be in the realm of period dramas. The Prisoner of Beauty is more than a poetic name. It captures the thematic heart of the series, a tale of resilience, humility, and unswerving determination. Liu Yuning's portrayal of General Wei Shao, once a fierce warrior, now a crippled strategist living in political exile, is as much about physical transformation as it is about emotional nuance. His performance is being heralded as one of the most surprising and poignant performances of the year. But his success is no accident. It is a carefully crafted resurgence, years in the making. It's the culmination of dedication, discipline, and a burning desire to prove doubters wrong. From supporting roles to center stage, Liu Yuning's name was not unknown in entertainment circles before The Prisoner of Beauty. Fans had admired his baritone voice and stage charisma, while drama enthusiasts had noticed his smaller roles in acclaimed productions like Truong Xie Han and Not Nim Quan Sun. Yet, in each of these he stood slightly off-center, never quite stealing the spotlight but never vanishing either. Many critics had categorized him into the now infamous idol actor box, a label often associated with limited acting range and aesthetic appeal that prioritizes looks over skill. And indeed, while Liu Yuning's tall frame and distinctive one-lidded eyes gave him a memorable appearance, it wasn't conventionally beautiful by industry standards. It was this very unconventionality that would later become his greatest asset. When Tencent Pictures announced The Prisoner of Beauty and named Liu Yuning as the male lead, skepticism was immediate. The online commentary was relentless. Can he even act? This face in a romantic lead? Are we serious? The production didn't help his case either, as early promotional photos featured a weary-looking general in plain robes, hunched over, hair disheveled. Nothing about him screamed idol. But the moment the series aired, those doubts began to evaporate. A performance of restraint and revelation. Wei Shao, as written, is not a flamboyant or extroverted character. He's a man who has lost battles, on the battlefield, in court politics, in love, and now must navigate survival through wisdom and quiet strength. It's a role that could easily have turned forgettable in the hands of a lesser actor. But Liu Yuning approached it differently. From his posture to his line delivery, every movement carried intention. The slight hunch of his shoulders was not mere acting. It was the embodiment of the character's internalized burdens. The restraint in his gaze, rarely meeting anyone's eyes unless absolutely necessary, suggested a man with more pain than pride. Critics were quick to notice. This wasn't the Liu Yuning they remembered. Audiences too began to take a second look. Fan forums filled with comments like, "I didn't expect to cry for him in episode 3. He's carrying this role with such gravitas." The actor who had once struggled to be taken seriously was now bringing a national audience to emotional catharsis. The look of a general, a controversial face. While his acting was gaining traction, Liu Yuning's appearance continued to be a topic of online discussion. Some netizens questioned whether he was suitable for the romantic subplots that unfolded in the series. Too sharp-featured, too modern-looking, one eye bigger than the other. The commentary was as superficial as it was relentless. And yet, for many viewers, this was precisely what made the character feel authentic. Wei Shao was not meant to be a Prince Charming. He was a broken, battered man living through loss. His sharp facial features, high cheekbones, and deeply set eyes gave him a ruggedness and melancholy that made the character's pain visible even in silence. Indeed, many female viewers commented that for the first time, they weren't drawn to a character because of handsomeness, but because of depth. Liu Yuning's face, once dismissed as unfit for television romance, had become the face of a new kind of tragic hero. Flawed, real, and unforgettable. Off-screen discipline, on-screen precision. Liu Yuning's transformation in The Prisoner of Beauty wasn't just artistic, it was physical. For the role, he underwent intensive martial arts training, performed his own stunts in heavy armor, and even sustained minor injuries during filming. There were scenes where he fought on muddy terrain with a dislocated shoulder, refusing to call for a stunt double. In interviews, he downplayed these hardships, stating simply, "This is what acting should be." This off-screen discipline translated into on-screen power. Sword fights felt visceral, not choreographed. Walking scenes bore the subtle pain of old wounds. Even the way he sat, never fully upright, was part of the lived reality of a soldier whose bones carried decades of war. It's no wonder that veteran actors who worked with him on set spoke with admiration. "He never treated himself like a star," one said. "He treated every take like a final performance." The power of word of mouth, when audiences speak louder than critics. What fueled The Prisoner of Beauty's explosive success wasn't a flashy marketing campaign or viral scandals. It was the most old-fashioned form of popularity, word of mouth. Within hours of the premiere, clips of Liu Yuning's performance began circulating online. A scene where Noithu quietly tends to his war wounds alone in candlelight was reposted thousands of times, with captions like, "This is what quiet pain looks like." Another scene, in which he watches his love interest from afar but says nothing, was described as the silence of love that never asks to be returned. Audiences began sharing how they felt seen by his performance. Men described seeing themselves in his quiet endurance. Women spoke of feeling moved not by romantic declarations, but by the way he protects others without seeking credit. Suddenly, Liu Yuning wasn't just an actor. He was a phenomenon. A cultural shift redefining the male lead. In many ways, Liu Yuning's breakout in The Prisoner of Beauty marks a departure from the flower boy archetype that has dominated Chinese idol dramas for nearly a decade. Traditionally, male leads in such series have been polished to perfection. Flawless skin, model-like features, emotionally reserved, and largely shaped by the aesthetics of K-pop and Japanese visual kei. Liu Yuning, in contrast, offers something grittier. He sweats. He bleeds. He cries rarely, but when he does, it's devastating. His body isn't sculpted like a mannequin. It's scarred. His voice isn't light or high-pitched. It's deep, gravelly, and carries the weight of lived experience. This shift is not just cosmetic. It reflects a broader longing in Chinese entertainment for authenticity. Viewers are no longer content with mere beauty. They crave truth. In Liu Yuning's performance, they found a kind of rawness that had been missing for years. Navigating the backlash, when popularity breeds polarization. Of course, no rise to fame is without resistance. For every 1,000 fans praising his work, there were critics questioning whether the praise was deserved. Some called him a TikTok actor, whose fame was manufactured. Others argued that Lung was a fluke, and he lacked the range to carry future projects. Liu Yuning, however, has remained remarkably quiet in the face of such criticism. In a recent interview, when asked about the mixed reactions to his appearance, he responded with a smile, "Not everyone will like my face. But if they believe my character, I've done my job." That humility has only strengthened his image. It's not just that he's talented, it's that he refuses to be baited by superficial noise. His silence speaks as loudly as his acting. The chemistry question with Tong Yao sparks in subtlety. A major draw of The Prisoner of Beauty is the unexpected and often heartbreaking chemistry between Liu Yuning and his co-star Tong Yao. Their relationship is marked not by explosive passion, but by quiet mutual respect, lingering gazes, and shared silence. In a scene where their characters exchange just 3 words over a dying campfire, viewers describe the moment as more intimate than any kiss. This dynamic has sparked conversations about the nature of romance on screen. Can love be shown without touch? Can heartbreak be more powerful when unspoken? Thanks to Liu Yuning and Tong Yao's synergy, the answer appears to be yes. A new archetype is born. In Liu Yuning's Wei Shao, we see the birth of a new kind of leading man. One who is wounded but not weak, silent but not soulless, loyal without needing validation. He doesn't fight for fame, or even for redemption. He fights because he believes in duty, in legacy, and in the quiet power of doing what's right even when no one is watching. And perhaps that's why audiences can't look away. In an era of filters and fake smiles, Liu Yuning's truth, however scarred or somber, feels like a breath of fresh air.